Alright fellas, this right here is going to be a build video. This is going to be the intro for the build video because I actually left something out. So, I'm adding this in real quick. One other thing I want to add besides the roof and all the materials that I use is the actual frame of my vehicle right here, okay? The frame of my vehicle, I've actually used approximately 40 to 60 tubes of automotive grade silicone. Not only did I use silicone, but I used a lot of polyfill. As far as polyfill, I roughly have maybe 50 bags in total. You can see here in the vehicle, like the sides are completely stuffed. All over the tire well, the whole trunk, completely stuffed with it. So, that's another thing I want to run by you. Up here, the frame right here, there's almost 40 tubes of silicone running the entire length, from front all the way to back. So, the entire frame of the vehicle is also deadened. Top and bottom, you know, even below the Luxliner Pro, I have lots of deadener. I have Amplifier Pro, I have Dynamite Extreme, I have polyurethane construction adhesive. I said I have a couple pieces of birch, the 3mm birch, and so the bottom of the vehicle is flex proof, much like the top of the vehicle, which you'll see I mentioned later is 4 inches thick. So the reason for doing all this, the silicone, all in the frame of the vehicle, I mean, it's throughout. See, all this is completely dead right here. All this stuff is dead, and it's throughout. The reason for doing all that is trying to keep as much acoustic energy in the cabin of the vehicle as possible. Just like how you see, you know, Virgil's little concrete vehicles burping, you know, 167s, you know, on a pair of 8s. That's because the vehicle is excellent at holding acoustic energy. My point with this is, I'm not using concrete. So that's the intention behind those videos when I said, you know, paper covers concrete. That's an analogy for, or a metaphor basically for like rock, paper, scissors. You know, paper covers concrete. That's kind of like my way of, you know, that's like my little way of slapping him in the face. You know, there's no sense in having a vehicle that weighs 19,000 pounds made of concrete that you'd have to have towed down the block, you know, burping. You know, there's no sense in that. The sense is right here, you know, a daily driver that once complete will only be 600 pounds over the actual original factory weight of the vehicle. I mean, hell, I don't even need to upgrade my suspension. So with that said, y'all, enjoy the video. What's up, everybody? This is Ben with Abusive. It's June 7th, 2012. It's mid-afternoon. This video right here is going to be like one of my old school videos, like one of the ones from back in the day. This video right here is basically going to be a how-to build video, pretty much. I'm going to be going over a lot of my little trade secrets, a lot of the materials that I use for my vehicle, etc., etc. So I want to start off by saying that I've always admitted that as far as teaching, that is something that's been pretty difficult for me to do. It's easy to understand and know things, but it's a whole nother cup of tea actually teaching people. When it comes to me making a YouTube video, I'm dealing with more than just, you know, other engineers and things like that. A lot of times I'm dealing with guys that are completely new to mobile electronics, so it's not like I sit here and throw around a whole bunch of engineerical terms that sound like a bunch of, you know, mumbo jumbo or just rubbish to some people. You know, I basically put everything pretty much in layman's terms. I try to explain things as the best that I can. I try to simplify everything. I had mentioned a long time ago that in simplicity lies the utmost complexity, and I think that really does hold true. I do believe that it does. So, you know, in my videos, I don't go around throwing around a whole bunch of things and saying I'm stating these as facts, simply because, you know, I think that all facts should have a time-based approximate lifespan. Just like right now, I'm currently 33 years old. A year from now, that will no longer hold true. So facts are only, they're only good for the amount of time that they're related to, for that specific time frame. So, okay. This stuff right here is going to be going over a couple of chemicals, a couple of adhesives and compounds and things I'm going to be using in the vehicle. So I'm going to get started. I'm a very, very big fan of Evercoat. I've been using Evercoat products for quite a number of years now. This right here is some stuff that I picked up a while back. It's called FiberTech. It's a reinforced repair compound filler. This right here has a Kevlar in it. This is some excellent stuff right here. It is a two-part. It's a two-part mixture right here. So this is some stuff I'm going to be using in my doors. I also have this Everglass right here. It's a short strand fiberglass reinforced body filler. It also has Kevlar in it. It's really good stuff right here. I didn't drag everything out of the shop, but besides these right here, you guys know I use a lot of the Evercoat resins, the fiberglass resin. I use that. I use the Rage Gold Extreme. I use lots of deadeners. I use give me a second, fellas, because like a list of things in my mind. I like to use the Type-On 3. I used to use Type-On 2. I'm also a big fan of this PL Premium right here. It's a polyurethane construction adhesive. This construction adhesive I'd mentioned in previous videos that it does have a excellent dampening factor to it as far as stopping certain materials from resonating. So I use lots of different epoxies. One of them I pulled out right here is the Pro Epoxy 300. This right here is basically your anchoring gel. This is really good stuff right here. Really, really good stuff actually. But that's just some of the things that I use. So besides the actual adhesives, I call everything that I use as far as chemicals. When it comes to the stereo, I pretty much label it all as an adhesive. I just, yeah. So some other things I'm using, you know, I have 1-inch 13-ply Russian Baltic birch, 1/2 inch. I got 3mm, I got 5mm. These are the different birches right here. You can see the varying thickness. It is flawless. Oops, I'm getting out of view here. It's flawless. There aren't any pits, there aren't any voids, there aren't any footballs or anything. It is an excellent material, fellas. It's excellent. So I am a very big fan of the Russian Baltic birch. It is admittedly difficult to get. You don't get it at Home Depot, you don't get it at Lowe's. Many times you'll have to go to a really good lumberyard to get it, and even then it's still hard to find. Stateside Supply does have some stuff called Apple Ply, but it's not the same thing. If you do get a hold of it, the stuff will run you sometimes between 80 and 160 bucks per sheet. So, with that setting and out of the way, there's another view. That's the actual 13-ply Russian Baltic birch that I use. See, there aren't any voids or pits or anything like that. It's really, really good material. So, moving along, well, one more thing. This right here is another thing I want to show you. I'd mentioned the stainless steel rods. These are the rods that I use to help hold the vehicle together. So I use a lot of stainless steel rods. I use 1-inch 11-gauge tubing. 1-inch 11-gauge tubing would be this over here. Here's an old rusted piece right here. It's the same thing that I made my stripper pole with. As a matter of fact, I want to show you guys a trick with this. I have seen recently a lot of guys starting to use this 1-inch 11-gauge tubing for their poles. Well, if you look on the inside of this pole, you'll see that it's hollow. Okay, and I want to show you something. Take this pole and drop it on the ground. I want you to listen to this. See how it's still resonating? Okay, well, we go inside the vehicle over here, and you see the pole that I put in. I probably put this in, I don't know, about a year and a half ago. So here's my pole right here. And you can see how it goes all the way up, down. The pole is hollow. So I actually filled it. I had a couple of cans of the Dynamat Extreme Spray. It was in a can, something very similar to some of the rubberized undercoating you can get at like Walmart. You can get it at Home Depot, you know, Lowe's. You can get it at AutoZone, you know, places like that. But anyway, I used a Dynamat spray. I sprayed the whole inside of my pole right here. I filled it with a whole lot of silicone and epoxy. And now the pole, it doesn't resonate, it doesn't vibrate, it doesn't do any of that. Once I was done filling it up, I covered the entire outside of the pole with some Stinger Expert Roadkill. And this is because, just like the resonating you heard when I dropped that rusted pole that was sitting outside, these stripper poles can actually transfer energy right out of the cabin of your vehicle. And basically the purpose of these is to stop your window or your front windshield from breaking like that. is to help eliminate flex. And speaking of eliminating flex, as mentioned many times before, is an extremely important part of getting loud. Because flex is basically, like I say, it's like a wolf for firing out of phase. It's a loss of energy. It's a cancellation. So I want to get that said and out of the way. One other thing I want to mention is that in a lot of my videos, people may think that the vehicle isn't really loud because standing outside the vehicle doesn't really sound loud. Yet you see when a person gets in the vehicle, you'll see them gagging, choking, eyes watering, can't breathe. And that's because of all the deadener and the materials that I use on my vehicle. So, like, for instance, in a lot of my older videos, I had talked about this Lossless Pro right here. There's actually 13 sheets of this material right here in my vehicle. It's the entire floor of the vehicle, front, back, all in the trunk, all in the body panels, the tire wells, engine bay. It's everywhere. It's all in the doors. It's everywhere. And it's an excellent material as far as being a mass-loaded vinyl. It prevents airborne noise from getting inside the vehicle, which makes for a much quieter listening environment. Not only is it a quieter listening environment, but there's actually less distortion in the vehicle. What I mean by that is sounds that penetrate your vehicle through your doors, your engine bay, your windows, whatever. That sound that penetrates your vehicle, it takes up space. It's a form of energy. It takes up space. So that distortion that's taking up space is leaving less space for your actual acoustic output. I mean, as far as your stereo is concerned, you want a cleaner environment for your stereo to operate in, is basically what I'm getting at. So I used 13 sheets of the Lossless Pro. There's probably a couple of hundred square feet of Stinger Expert Roadkill, Damplifier Pro, Dynamatic Extreme, lots of deadeners. Deaden the entire vehicle. This vehicle is dead, like a brick. Anyway, so moving along to my doors. I'm going to be doing some build videos. I haven't done them in a very long time. I had been extremely busy working on different, woofer technology, different things for amplifiers, yada yada. I recently sold some technology and made enough money to where now I don't have to work for probably, I'd say about another year. I can just, take my time, work on my vehicle, do some decent videos, do a couple of build videos. I have more time for life now, So with that said and out of the way, this is one of my doors right here. Now, I'll show you guys what I've done. I removed a lot of the deadener from inside the door. You have your outside skin, you have your inside skin. I had, I don't know, maybe 2-3 layers of the Stinger Expert Roadkill, Damplifier, everything else, Dynamat. I removed the deadener. I'm sanding down the inside surface using this wire brush I have right here connected to my drill. I'm sanding down the surface really good. And then what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be birching up the doors. There's still some deadener there. I do want some deadener there. But I'm going to be birching these doors up. I'm going to be using some of the 3mm, a couple pieces of the 1/2 inch. I'm going to be reinforcing these side crash bars right here. There's 2 of them. There's one there, there's one here, and there's one up there. So these 2 crash bars. So I'm going to be putting sheets in here like this, 45s and 45s. It's going to be curved in here basically. I'll place a couple of light relief cuts where the wood will bow, and it'll basically contour. It'll hold to the contour shape of the door. And then I'll be using different epoxies, lots of PL, fiberglass, and a couple of other things, the Kevlar, etc. And this will make the doors just like the roof, where they're absolutely flex-proof. Once I'm done birching up the doors and everything, I'll be taking the Lossless Pro and laying it all back inside the door again. So, as well as whatever deadeners I've been peeling off. See, I've been peeling off a lot of deadener. But when I'm done, it's going to be like the roof, which still isn't complete. This is 4 inches thick. Doesn't vibrate. Energy does not transfer from one side of the roof to the other side of the roof. This right here, it's like a brick, fellas. It is. So, those are some of the things I'm going to be doing, and that's a lot of the materials that I'm going to be using. Stainless steel rods, birch, different epoxies, Kevlar, polyurethane construction adhesive, fiberglass body filler, fiberglass resin, etc. So that's what's going to the build right here. Anyway, there's definitely going to be more videos to come. I'm going to be doing a lot of build videos. Some of them, because a whole bunch of talking won't really be necessary, I'll just show you basically how I'm doing it, and I'll probably set the videos to music. I actually, I like doing that. It's one of the things I like to do. So, yeah, here's a look at some of the pieces I'm going to be using for the doors. I do want my doors to be absolutely flex proof. The dash is being done the same way. The rear of the vehicle is being done the same way. I'm working on my enclosure. One of the materials I'm using for my enclosure, I may have mentioned at one time a long time ago, it's called IGPB. IGPB stands for Industrial Grade Particle Board. This stuff right here is ridiculous. Here's a good look at it right here. That's IGPB. This stuff, that's the wall you're hearing. This stuff right here is ridiculous. Only problem with it is it's extremely heavy. One sheet of this IGPB right here, I'd say it's something comparable to about maybe 3 or 4 sheets of 3/4 inch MDF sandwiched together. That's how dense the stuff is right here. It's extremely heavy. Anyway, so that's just a look at some of the materials I used. I'm going to be working on my enclosure. As far as the enclosure, I'm not going to talk about the alignment that I'm going with, because at the current moment, it's not an alignment that exists. It's one that I've been working on for about 10 years, and that is a trade secret I will be keeping to myself. But, guys will see at the show, yada yada yada. So I won't talk about the enclosure. I will tell you that I'm going with 415s, and it's going to be on 12K. I've done some pretty nasty things with a single driver, with 215s, 115, 215, 363 square inches of cone area. I've done some pretty nasty things, so I do believe my projected numbers will definitely be obtainable, So, with that said, yeah, this is Ben, and lots more videos to come, fellas. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I feel you guys really deserve it, because I've been MIA for a while, with these build bids and everything. So, next videos you're going to see are of these doors, getting done, the dash getting jerked out, getting done, etc. Alright, y'all, more to come. Peace.